Welcome to the Butterfly Effect, stage 12 of the 2020 Giro. Today's stage would be incredibly hard, cold, wet, short, steep little climbs. Big breakaway that finally exploded. Jonathan Narvaez from Ineos and Mark Padun from Bahrain McLaren are the two riders we're watching on TV. They're going to the finish. When the Bahrain McLaren rider flats, Jonathan does not wait, and it's a two guys chasing each other in the time trial to the line. Okay, the little bit of drama there. Should he have waited? Should he not? I really can't complain. My very first win as an amateur rider way back in the 80s, I think it was Greater Los Angeles Criterium. We're doing a circuit. It has a short, steep little climb in there. The guy next to me, we're in two-man, same scenario like today, but not the Giro, of course. Two guys coming down the line. We're going up the climb for the last lap or two to go in the race. And his derailleur spring breaks. The chain goes limp. And I just looked over at him. Sorry, buddy. And took off. So it's pretty hard when you're riding one-on-one and you see the guy flat next to you, or he has a mechanical or something like that. It's pretty hard to wait for him. They're always just going to gun it to the line. So I'm not going to blame Jonathan. I think it was a well-deserved win. Massive stage, cold, wet, some technical, dangerous descents. It really was a fun stage to watch all the way to the end for the GC guys. It kind of fizzled out for them. I got to say, with regards to NTT, I wasn't a fan of the tactic. Okay, it's the Giro, and it's 2020, so we all know this race could end at any moment. So I'm going to give NTT a little bit of slack. But in general, I don't believe a team like theirs should be riding on the front. You say, a lot of people say, well, come on, if you don't attack, how do you drop the leader? How do you make up some time? Most likely, folks at home, you're not going to drop the top 10 best guys in a Grand Tour on 2K, 3K, 4K long climbs, especially when you still have a 15-kilometer flat run into the finish. The GC guys will always neutralize each other. Certainly, Deceuninck Quickstep is still strong at the very last climb of today's stage, that they still have two guys to ride that 15K and control the group, so there's no tactical games being played there. NTT's only hope really is to drop all of the Deceuninck guys except for Almeida, who's been fabulous wearing the pink jersey at this year's Giro, so you don't expect to drop him, but maybe you could get rid of his teammates. They're going good, though, too. It's hard to see that the guys from NTT, in my mind, are going to drop the top two, certainly the top three guys from Deceuninck Quickstep. They were fabulous today, so it's hard to see they're getting dropped, and then they just control it. There's no tactical games. So it fizzled out for us fans watching from the couch, right? It wasn't all that exciting. But the stage all the way up to that, you look at the cold and the wet. One other thing I want to mention too is Vivo. He never had any clothes on. Never the arm warmers. He's not wearing gloves. You see him shaking his hands out. He's freezing. He's never going back to the car to get that. You look at 90% in that group, and they're all got their rain jackets on. They're keeping warm. They're going back to the car, grabbing jackets, grabbing drinks. So I wonder how much that might have affected Vivo even on that last climb, if he was a little chilly when they're starting it. Certainly, Joao Almeida, he was riding with less clothes than the others, but he still had his vest on. Those are quite warm. They got the sleeves down to here and stuff for him. So he's well dressed. The other guys are even dressed warmer. When you look at Trek Segafredo with Vincenzo Nibali, he's going back to the car on his own. Another thing about the butterfly effect, I talked many times about Trek Segafredo's, their wrong tactics in the stages before today. And now you look at today, it's not even a massive mountain stage. They're hard climbs for sure, by all means, but they're not massive. And it's Vincenzo Nibali left without teammates, and he's going back to the car to get his own jacket and stuff. That's a lot of energy wasted when you see that all the earlier stages, all the way up to now, Trek Segafredo's burning matches left and right. If they had one guy with them today, that guy can go back and look after Vincenzo Nibali. He's left alone. I know a lot of the other teams, when you look at Jakob Fuglsang, he was left alone too, but he lost already two of his good riders before this stage. So if he had those guys, certainly Lopez, he'd have company with him on a stage like today. Friend of mine sent me a picture of the Stelvio that's coming up. It's already covered in snow. That's stage 18, and it's an epic day of racing if we make it to stage 18. But I'm going to post it up here on the Butterfly Effect because the picture shows the roads snow. It's covered in. We got to start wondering now about this race in October of whether or not if we're going to make it to these final races of the Giro. Hopefully we do. It's been an exciting Giro. Today's stage I liked. Wondered a little bit about the NTT tactics, but other than that, I thought it was a beautiful day of racing. Certainly cold and hard, and the effort they did today will start to affect riders' legs in the future stages, of course. Joel Almeida, Deceuninck Quick-Step rider, wearing the pink jersey. He has looked solid on all these medium and hard stages of the Giro. We'll be curious to see how he goes up here in the time trial. He looks motivated for it, though. Should put some more time in all of the favorites when we get to the time trial stage. Look for that. And then after that, we're going to start getting into the real mountain stages of this Giro. So there's another thing I'd like to talk about. We see Simon Palou, the Swiss rider, in the breakaway today. He's in the Supertuck. And I just want to say, because I hear it all the time on the radio, where did the Supertuck start and where did it begin? Okay, I'm going on the record here today, folks, that as early as 1990 in San Diego, California, I'm a professional and I'm training out with a really good friend of mine, Trent Klasna. He rode for Team Saturn, amazing rider in his own time, national champion, amazing guy. His friend, Dean Meyer, and Trent Klasna, as far as I know, invented the Supertuck. If somebody can go back before 1990 or 1988, right in about that time and frame, is when I saw the Supertuck, and I was told from Trent Klasna it was Dean Meyer that showed it to him, and that was the first time I'd ever seen the Supertuck in my cycling career. So somebody has to go back further than that if they say they invented it. In my mind, at this point in time in my career, as far as I know, Dean Meyer invented the Supertuck. So every time you watch the Supertuck, and we see it on just about every mountain stage there is, you can look over. Thank Dean Meyer for that great invention of bringing it into the Pro Peloton. One other thing, I brought up two jerseys here today, and they're from the same stage, I'm told anyways. Robbie McEwen gave me this one. This is stage 7, for sure. This is stage 17, unwashed, 2006 Tour de France. And as far as I know from Robbie McEwen, because he told me, and I was there when it came out of the laundry, this is stage 17, 2006 Tour de France, green jersey wearer, Robbie McEwen's jersey. So a little bling bling up there for you guys to take a look over and drool over and all that kind of stuff. I got a ton of jerseys. We'll post up jerseys here every day. So if that's what interests you, check in. Later, after we're done with the racing this season, I'll give some stories about those stages and many, many other ones. Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that button so we get that, building that up. If you guys like the content, I'll continue it. So I hope you enjoyed today's butterfly effect, and I'll see you really soon.